How's it, everyone? Ian Culley here from All-Star Charts, bringing you the weekly bond edition of What the FICC, the spot for all things fixed income, commodities, and currencies. Today, I want to focus a little bit on inflation expectations and how I like to look at them. Let's check the charts. Here we have an overlay chart of the XME, which is the Metal and Mining's ETF, with the TIP versus Treasury ratio, TIP over IEF, right? So when this line is catching higher, investors are reaching for Treasury inflation-protected securities, right? So they're anticipating a rise or an increase in inflation. So the reason I bring this chart is because these two lines practically move tick for tick, right? Look in the lower pane, 126-day rolling correlation, and it's practically green all the way across the board the past decade plus. Of course, there are those little pockets, those little moments of negative correlation, which we're in one now, but they tend to be rare and short-lived. So the point is that as the TIP IEF ratio is breaking down to fresh multi-year lows, XME, the stocks that are most sensitive to inflation, were catching higher, right? So this positive correlation was decoupling, right? And what's interesting is this fits with a lot of what we're seeing in the commodity space, right? It fits with all of the commodity-related stocks that remain resilient, whether we're talking about XLE, whether we're talking about oil services, whether we're talking about steel stocks. We're seeing it across the board. So what I see in this chart is the stock market and even commodities aren't buying the notion that inflation is easing. Has inflation peaked? Maybe. Who cares? Right? As long as it stays elevated, these names are going to be doing really well. So if TIP IEF starts to catch higher, we want to look to XME and the strongest names within the metal and mining space to take advantage of that. And if you think about it, if XME is catching higher, I imagine that the CPI is probably coming in hot, or at least warmer than expected. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the link below, read the article. If you have any questions, reach out to info@allstarcharts, and you can always follow along at Ian Culley on Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.